Hello guys, in today's video we are going to be looking at the Ponziani opening, otherwise known as the Jaenisch counterattack. This type of gambit leads to a sharp tactical attack, so without wasting much of your time, let's just dive into the game. So here we have pawn to e4, black responds with pawn to e5. We have knight to f3, then knight moves to c6. We have pawn to c3. So here comes the Ponziani opening. Then knight moves to f6. We have pawn to d4. So at the moment, black has two options, either to take the pawn at d4 or take the pawn with the knight at e4. So black chooses to take the pawn at e4. Then we have pawn to d5, attacking the knight at c6. Knight retreats back to e7. Then knight takes pawn at e5. Pawn moves to d6, threatening the knight and as well opening space for the white bishop. We have bishop to b5, checking the king. Now the king can't move, and I think the best move for black at the moment is to push pawn to c6. Then pawn takes pawn at c6. Now if the pawn should take the pawn at c6, bishop can simply take back with a check and equally attacking the rook at a8. So black chooses to go for a tactical attack rather than taking the pawn at c6 by bringing the queen to b6, thereby attacking the bishop at b5 and equally threatening mate at f2. Why is saying this and still plays pawn, still captures the pawn at b7 with a check. Now the queen cannot take the bishop, because if you should take the bishop at b5, the pawn at b7 can simply take the rook at a8 and promote with a queen. So white will be up with two queens, and white is just simply winning the game. So what white does at the moment is to move king to d8. So knight takes pawn at f7, then king moves to c7, then pawn takes rook and promotes with the knight, kind of fucking the king and the queen. So this is just a typical example of the Ponziani opening. So if you want to know more about this type of games, do well to follow me on my video. Thanks.